Tamil Nadu's hung assembly reveals the fatal flaw in India's anti-defection law, and why 2026. That single number resets the innovation playbook. The key question is not what happened, but what changes next for operators and users. We will map trigger, incentive shift, and downstream impact before the close. The assembly has 234. He's 16 short of majority, and this gap just exposed a 41-year-old flaw in India's constitutional rulebook that nobody wants to fix. In 1985, India's framers created the Anti-Defection law to stop politicians from switching parties for cash. The mechanism was simple: defect alone, lose your seat. But there's a loophole. If 2/3 of your party defects together it's called a merger, and it's perfectly legal. This creates an absurd incentive: individual MLAs become worthless, but blocks of MLAs become priceless. Here's how this plays out in real time. Congress has 35 MLAs in Tamil Nadu. A single Congress MLA approaching Vijay's TVK gets immediately disqualified under the defection clause. But if 24 Congress MLAs, that's 68% of their bloc, move together, they are suddenly legal cargo. They keep their seats. Vijay gets his majority. Congress extracts a price, cabinet positions, policy concessions, maybe a rotational chief minister deal. Everyone wins except the democratic principle that voting is supposed to matter. This isn't new. Since 1985, India has seen 47 legislative bloc defections invoking the merger exemption. 87% of them happened within 6 months of elections that returned hung assemblies. The pattern is unmistakable: the law doesn't prevent horse trading, it just sets a minimum conspiracy size. Every major party has benefited. The BJP used it in Goa, Madhya Pradesh. Congress used it in Karnataka, Manipur. It's a mutual exploitation pact disguised as constitutional law. But Tamil Nadu 2026 is different. This is India's first hung assembly in the WhatsApp era. Previous coalition collapses played out in backrooms. Today, every MLA has a Twitter account. Rival parties can coordinate bloc defections in encrypted channels. The old smoke-filled room dynamics now happen at scale and speed the constitutional framers never imagined. The stakes are massive. Tamil Nadu is India's second-largest state economy, 27 trillion Indian rupees in GDP, roughly equal to Bangladesh's entire output. It attracts 30% of India's FDI and runs 40% of India's auto exports, plus major Foxconn production lines. When Karnataka faced coalition collapse in 2019, industrial approvals dropped 22% during the crisis. Tamil Nadu could see worse. The state is mid-execution on a 45 billion Indian rupees infrastructure pipeline, expressways, airports, port expansions. A weak coalition government lacks the political capital to navigate land acquisitions and environmental clearances. There's a fiscal dimension too. Vijay campaigned on a 2,500 Indian rupees monthly allowance for women and farm loan waivers. If Congress extracts concessions to support him, the fiscal math deteriorates fast. Tamil Nadu's debt-to-GDP ratio is already 22%, near the constitutional ceiling. Add a populist spending pledge, and you're looking at potential downgrades or federal intervention. So why hasn't India fixed this? Constitutional experts have proposed solutions. Raise the merger threshold to 75% or 80%. Require constituent approval via by-elections. Eliminate the exemption entirely. None have gained traction because every ruling coalition has exploited the loophole at some point. It's political mutual assured destruction. Fixing it would mean surrendering a tool you might need tomorrow. The next 72 hours will tell you everything. Watch for MLA sequestration, parties moving vulnerable legislators to hotels to prevent poaching. If Congress MLAs disappear in groups of 25 or more, a bloc merger is imminent. Watch the speaker election. If it's delayed, negotiations are ongoing. If it happens fast with a Congress nominee, VJ has conceded significant power. And watch social media. Individual MLAs float trial balloons on Twitter revealing factional fault lines. Before official announcements. Here's the real story. India's anti-defection law, designed to protect democratic mandates, has become a mechanism that requires bulk defections to make minority governments work. A law meant to prevent horse trading now incentivizes it at scale. Until India addresses this structural contradiction, every close election will produce the same 72-hour auction where policy gets sidelined by parliamentary arithmetic. For global investors watching Tamil Nadu, the message is clear. In the world's largest democracy, political stability increasingly depends on the liquidity of legislative blocs, not the legitimacy of electoral verdicts. That's a fragility worth understanding before your next emerging market bet. The consensus read is already outdated. What matters now is the second-order effect most commentary still ignores. He needs 134. The 16-seat gap just exposed a fatal flaw in India's 1985 anti-defection law. Here's the problem: a single MLA defecting loses their seat instantly. But if 24 MLAs defect together, a so-called merger, they keep their seats legally. This turns every coalition negotiation into a block-buying auction, not a policy debate.